Just as Cindy took a full mouth of cold coffee, we'll go live. Ah. Hey Nathan, great to have you on again. You've been on our show before, so it's great to have you back. This is actually a show that I had been wanting to have for quite a while. Um, Ever since I started following you, I'm a huge fan. I
Thank you.
love your story. I love what you're doing. You're just a beast in the industry. You know, you get on and you basically live stream every day about what you do. And I know from this side of the table how much work it is to put together shows every day. For you to do live streams 3 hours a day showing everything that you're doing, hats off to you, my friend. So,
Thank you.
Nathan, for those who may not know you, give us a little background on who Nathan Harris is. How did you end up being a Canadian who's now in South America doing what you love?
Yeah. So thanks, Shane. I too am very impressed by your ability to build and foster communities. And I too am on the other side of the screen, like what's Shane up to? It's really cool. So I just wanted to acknowledge that really quick before I give my introduction. So hi guys, I'm Nathan Harris. I like to travel the world and I like to make money from anywhere in the world. Um, when I first got into wholesaling, it was a challenge, it was a struggle. We all know that story. It's pretty copy and pastable. But by the time that I found myself to be starting to get success in wholesale real estate, I looked up from my computer screen and I thought to myself, yo, wait a minute. I've been doing this from Canada virtually the whole time, and it costs so much money to live in Canada. Why am I staying in Canada? Like why don't I just take the same amount of money that it costs me to live in Canada and go to Mexico, go to Bali, Indonesia, go to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, go to Ecuador, go to Colombia. Like I can go travel the world on the same budget and I can do all my business from this laptop right here. So that's really where I'm at in the world nowadays. I could give you guys a 10-hour long story of my life, but to give you the brief synopsis of the last little bit, that's been it. I did this last year for 6 months. I did what's called how to wholesale real estate virtually digital nomad edition, where I traveled the world picking a different country pretty much every single month and showing people that you can wholesale from anywhere in the world. But I came across this problem and it really messed me up. Towards the end of my trip, it was it was tough. I went to Asia, and if you know anything about Asia, they're completely the opposite time zone. So here I was enjoying myself, traveling the world, like, heck yeah, man, this is awesome. Get to enjoy myself, get absolutely beautiful views, get to do fun things on the weekend. And then I get to Asia and I'm like, yo, wait a
Yeah.
minute, wait a minute. My business runs in the middle of the night, but all my friends that I'm meeting in Asia are hanging out during the daytime when I'm supposed to be sleeping. So my business when I got to Asia, it went like that, right? Because here's the thing. It was like it's technically a business, but it was more like a job. It was like, okay, now I'm traveling the world and I've figured out a way to produce income, but I'm tied to my job. I'm tied to my business, right? My business is my job. And if I get hit by a bus or, I go to Asia and I get distracted enjoying myself in Asia, um, my business is going to take a toll and that's going to hurt my employees. That's going to hurt, just the business in general. So I went back to Canada and I went back to Canada kind of with my tail between my legs. I'll be honest. I was a little bit discouraged. I lost a bit of momentum. But when I got back to Canada, I thought to myself, how am I going to fix this so this doesn't happen again? Because at the end of the day, we're in it for lifestyle design. We didn't suddenly just say, I want to become a business owner so I can work 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single day. That wasn't the goal. Most of us, when we got into becoming a business owner, it's like I want to become a business owner because I want my freedom. I want money to be able to do what I enjoy. I want time freedom. I want the ability to like have really good health by eating good food, et cetera, et cetera. So I come back to Canada and I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this differently? Well, this year we've launched a new series and we're actually kicking off the series. We kicked it off on January 1st. This is the first country. And this year we have launched a series called Building a $1 million real estate business live. So I'm live streaming every single day, Monday to Friday, of me building the business. Y'all are going to get to watch this whole thing evolve into a far greater beast than it was last year. You get to watch recruiting, you get to watch, managing teams, you get to like the biggest thing here is building a leadership team. I'm building a leadership team and having those leaders build out teams underneath them. It's scary, it's big. I I started this journey on a really bad spot, which was great for the show, but really freaking scary because when I landed in Colombia, I was supposed to have $13,000 in assignment fees closing, and I juiced my bank accounts on getting this show started, and I was supposed to have $13,000 hit my bank account, and then next thing you know, two deals fall apart, and I'm like, oh fuck, oh shit, I'm in Colombia, I ran out of money. This is the day one of building $1 million business and I'm out of money. And I was like about to beat myself up about it, but I'm like, no, wait a minute. This is freaking awesome. What a great way to start this show. Let's start it from $0. So we literally have started it from $0. Um, so yeah, Shane, what's up, bro? We're 14, 15 days in now. Oh, you're muted.
Hopefully you haven't had to go out, and sell yourself on the streets or anything. So pay the bills. So hopefully you're
Only
all
on Tuesdays.
right. Ah.
I'm just kidding. No, but it was actually a really humbling experience, and I was very transparent on my live. The big thing about this show is transparency. Every single month, my bookkeeper is coming on the show, going over the profit and loss statement, exactly how much money is coming in, exactly how much money is going out. But for that first little bit, like it took me, we were able to generate like 500 here and whatnot. But it took me like 10 days before we actually brought in a chunk of change that was sufficient. And then tomorrow, we will be funding and the deal will be dispersing on another one, and we'll be bringing in another chunk of change. I think it's $4,000 on that assignment fee. But yeah, bro, very humbling to start the show.
And that's awesome that you're already into some deal flow. So congratulations on that.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sure as you were in Asia last year, really your business model was Nathan Harris, right? You had a little bit of
Yeah,
back support, but you were the business.
yeah,
And
it was show
probably,
up, make offers.
yeah. So thank goodness that you had a strong CRM system built, a lot of automations that really helped make you, clones of Nathan out there working. But that is also still has a limit, right? There's only so much that Nathan
Exactly.
can do by himself. And if anything happens to Nathan, the business stops.
Exactly. And deals require speed, right? So like I've cracked the code on lead generation. I can generate leads, no problem. I consider myself to be a really, really good marketer. No matter what business you're in the marketing business. It's just the product changes. So I'm a really good marketer. I'm really, really good at generating leads. But like when I was in Asia, I was generating leads, I was generating pocket listings, and I was asleep. And then 6 hours later, I wake up and it's like, hey, is this still available? Nope.
Uh,
Damn, we missed it.
Speed to lead is a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, you're the wholesaling. Shane knows I'm a recruiter, so I own a recruiting business. I'm a headhunter. I've owned a recruiting business for God a very 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 long time. It's very wholesaling is very similar to recruiting on an agency side because you have the candidate, client, and it's speed. If you don't get that candidate first, you lose, and you got to make sure that candidate. It's almost like if the deal doesn't close, if the candidate doesn't start day one, I don't get paid. So if you don't,
Mm.
if your person doesn't buy the house, you don't get paid, right? So very similar concept.
And I do a lot of JVs as well. So like other wholesalers will send me their leads, but they're not just sending me their leads, they're sending other disposition wholesalers their leads. So it's
Yeah.
right.
like if I'm there ready to go, I'll comp that lead and send it out to my buyers like that, right? But if I'm asleep boom, that lead goes away, right? My pocket listings too with the agents. Those agents will send me pocket listings, but if I take too long, they sent it to another person and that other person ends up contracting it.
No, and we've had this discussion within the community quite a bit because there's quite a few people who want to start wholesaling, right? And it's like, where do you start? Do you start on the lead gen side or do you start on the dispo side? Because we've had that discussion back and forth, and some people say, hey, I got to go find the buyers first to know what they want before I get a lead. What's your thought on that?
I think it's really the chicken and the egg story. But here's my opinion. There's people like me that are disposition wholesalers. So if you're in Florida and you have a deal under contract, I will take care of it for you. I have a really big buyers list, but we will have to split the assignment fee. You'll lose 50% of your assignment fee to a dispositions wholesaler, whether it's me or it's somebody else. That's just pretty standard practice. However, that gives you the ability to go out and focus on building lead flow. Because let's say you start calling a bunch of buyers, right? Let's say you start pre-vetting a bunch of buyers, calling them, and what are you going to say? Hey, I'm a wholesaler that doesn't have anything for you, but wanted to build a connection. It might work, but your buyers aren't going to take you that seriously. So I would say number one, focus on finding deals. Take them to people like us that have a very, very well developed buyers list. We'll sell them for you. Give away 50% of your profits. It's better than making $0. And then as you start to build momentum, start building out your dispo side. But you could build out 1,000 buyers list, right? A buyers list with 1,000 people. But that buyers list doesn't really mean jack or diddly if you don't have deals for them.
Right. If you can't feed that list, you make $0. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's going to take you a lot longer to build a list when you have nothing to back you. You have no deals to back you.
So on your dispo side, Nathan, are you dispoing strictly then in Florida? Is that your list? Or can you dispo
Correct.
nationwide?
I dispose strictly in Florida, and there's a reason why. It's because I believe it to be like a video game, right? So in video games, you might get a 2 times multiplier where you start to collect 2 times extra on your actions. So in Florida, I have market knowledge, I have great connections, I have all kinds of advantage. I actually have MLS access. I have a realtor as a business partner, so I have MLS access. So because of that, I have a 2 times multiplier in the Florida market. But if you were to say, hey, Nathan, I have a deal in Texas, man, I would get a really crummy ROI on my time compared to Florida. I would have to build a buyer's list from scratch. I would have to, I wouldn't understand the neighborhoods as well. I wouldn't understand the construction style as well. It would take me way, way longer. So I believe in hyper focusing. Some people are like, hey man, I want to do nationwide. That way I have more opportunity. Yeah, but you might not be able to harvest as much of that opportunity as you think.
Right. So if I have people who are just getting leads in other states, where should they go? Where could they go to find dispo help?
Good question. Um, if they are in paid mentorships, I would highly recommend those first. And the reason why is because that caliber of people are a lot more trustworthy. That caliber of people are a lot more competent. I personally don't really mess with anybody that's not in paid mentorships unless if like they've built up a lot of trust over time. Otherwise, if that's not an option to you, you could go into other wholesale real estate groups, but just be careful because you got to make sure that you're in a trustworthy community. So, um, Shane, I would consider you to have a very warm, loving community. I think that would be a great place to make connections with other people if there's wholesalers in your group.
And one of the things that we've talked about is trying to develop a group buyers list, so to speak. And how to do that, and we can all kind of share resources that way. It just takes time to put all that together, and we just haven't quite got enough people together to do that. But watching you build out your business this year, I think it's going to really incite a lot of people out of action out of our own community. That hey, we better keep up with Nathan, or else he's gonna be living all over the place without us. So
Yeah. Well, I'm really a big fan of being a go-giver and like contributing as a whole. So like I'll give you an example. I've I literally reached out to Privy, and I have a really good relationship with them because they bring them a lot of business. And the owner of Privy, Benson, he made a special request with the developers to pull me all the data from 2023 till date for Florida for the cash buyers. So I had my virtual assistant manually skip trace that, and that was important because when it comes to like mass skip tracing of LLCs, you're gonna get a really crappy hit rate. Unless if like you have a virtual assistant that like goes to open corporates, checks who the owner is, goes to True People Search, searches them up, ensures that it's a wireless number, etc. So we've invested a lot of paid hours into that. Plus, we've leveraged our relationship. So I have this big list, and depending on how many people are in Florida, it may or may not be valuable for them. But I have this super big list of 1,500. This is the cream of the crop. So people will show up multiple times, like 5, 10, sometimes even 20 times. We've condensed it down to only one person. So no duplicates, all wireless numbers, all verified, everything. I've blasted all of these buyers. I have almost every single buyer in this list already on my list. Like I would say like 75% of them have responded to me, but it doesn't cost me anything to share it with everybody else. So boom, there you go. It's in the side chat. It's
You
yours.
are amazing. I greatly appreciate that.
No problem. It literally doesn't. This is the philosophy that I live by. It costs me absolutely nothing to share it. So why not? It's
I
infinite,
appreciate everybody
infinite
that joined
abundance.
tonight. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Rebecca. Cool. We appreciate that, Nathan. So, as you are building out now your team, right? So
Mhm.
you're going from the team Nathan to actually having a business team. Where do you start? What was your first need that you saw?
Yeah. So the first thing is building from the top down. I don't know where I heard this, but it really resonated with me. You want to build your teams from the top down. So what does that mean? That means, start with like the person that's going to manage the team. And then below that, then you can start building the actual team. So the first thing I did is I found a business partner. Um, this dude is actually really cool because he kind of found me, and like he kept hounding me. He's like, "Hey, bro, I want to be in business with you." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." But he kept hounding me, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, this guy is pretty committed." And then like he'd do favors and like he'd go above and beyond to like try to get my attention. I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute, okay, this guy's serious." So we're in like the soft dating phase of the business partnership, but like it's going absolutely fantastic. Um, and then okay, so now we have him. He's my business partner. He's in it. So his job is to build out the acquisitions team. Actually, can I screen share? I have this
Absolutely.
all documented. Okay,
I gave you the power.
I have the power. All right. Okay. So Q1. So we have some Q1 rocks. Okay, let's pull them all up. This is my leadership team's goals for Q1. Okay, so Nathan's Rock. This is Nathan and his business partner for context. So not solely going to be me doing the work. One second. Let me just make it so I can see your guys' faces still.
And when we talk about rocks, Nathan talks about rocks. Read the book Traction, right? In the EOS system. That's where that
Yep.
comes from. So,
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that because here I am talking about rocks, and y'all are like, "What the hell?" Come on,
yeah.
Nathan. You playing rocks together. That's how you make money. Okay, so here is the goal. So this is Nathan's rock, but it's also my business partner's rock. So this is for the first 90 days. So in the first 90 days, we need to be closing 5 deals per month consistently. Okay. So current progress, 1 to 2 deals per month. 15% of the goal is achieved. Make sure your rocks are smart, specific. So close 5 deals per month consistently, measurable, track the number of deals closed each month with a review of the results, attainable. Yes, the goal is achievable with the proper team, systems, and network. Relevant, yes, the goal is relevant to the overarching business goal, and it's time bound. By the end of Q1. So, what's our strategy? Build out a team of acquisition reps and increase our JV network. So, how do we build up the team of acquisition reps? We host monthly wholesale bootcamp challenges where we get people going. So it's like, okay, here's how you generate leads. Cool. Show up tomorrow. Okay, here's how you call those leads. Cool. Do the work. Show up tomorrow. Okay, here's how you comp those leads. Cool. Do the work, show up tomorrow. Here's how you make offers on those leads. Cool. Do the work, show up tomorrow, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We take them through the process. And in that, we identify talent, right? So we identify people that have exceptional talent and we offer them an opportunity. Hey, we would like you to come join us in our business rather than you worrying about underwriting the properties, dispoing the properties, the works. We'll take care of all of that for you. We just need you to hammer the phone, make minimum 10 offers a day and clear out your inbox every single day. We'll underwrite, we'll dispo, we'll give you the systems and processes in place. So then, of course, we have some stuff that goes into it, like, creating SOPs. So rather than me manually training every single person that comes on, I've been creating SOPs so that they can learn from the documents. We have a robust KPI system where each person gets their own KPI tracker. It all flows into a master KPI tracker. So there is nowhere to hide in the company. And yeah, I could elaborate on this, but I'll kind of start going quickly. So then next one is increase JV network. We will increase it as well through those wholesale boot camps, as well as through social media. And what's great about that is we can double dip on it. So not only can we make money off of assignment fees with people, but when we provide them products and services that they use in their business. So for example, if anybody here has a CRM, the importance of a CRM in this business. If you're manually texting from your phone, you cannot do 1/50th of what I can do, right? And that's probably an understatement. So when we get these people set up, right, these people from the boot camps, we get them set up with a high quality CRM. The CRM companies will compensate us because we generate so much business for them. So we're able to generate affiliate revenue, which I do consider that to go towards the goal. We are considering affiliate revenue part of the business. Yeah. Okay. So that's Nathan's goal. Then we have the social media side of things. So I try to be really transparent about it. A lot of people don't really talk about affiliate revenue. I think we should talk about it because it's a great stream of income. If you're a wholesaler or an investor or whatever you are, you should document your process online. Why? Because it builds social credibility. It builds networking. Like I meet really cool dudes like Shane. Like I'm going to talk with Shane about private money later on. And also, you will start to get sponsors. So I've spent a lot of money on social media, but after doing it long enough, we are now starting to generate income. So for example, we currently make $4,000 a month roughly in affiliate income, reoccurring revenue. However, we want that to be at $15,000 a month before the end of Q1. So how do we do it? We optimize funnels and web pages to reduce friction, strengthen social credibility through community engagement, create specific value-driven promotions for affiliates. So optimizing funnels and web pages. This is where our team gets built. So Lori is my executive assistant. She's responsible for this, and she has helped seek out somebody to build those funnels for me. So she's taking care of that. So now we have somebody that's actively building those funnels. And since we started the show really low on capital, we have to get very creative. So I said to him, I said, look, I tell you what, you build out these funnels for me and I'll talk about them. And that's how you'll get more business. And through that, you'll be compensated. Why social media is so important. Sorry, Shane, you want to go ahead?
No, I think that's brilliant. Is sometimes the direct approach isn't always the best, right? So here, now you got them tied to the business, right? Because you couldn't just pay them money. So our success is now your success. Everybody's involved in the team. So fantastic.
Absolutely. And bro, this is why I think it was so good that I had those 2 deals fall through, right? Because if it wasn't for those 2 deals falling through, like I would have just went with the, easy pathway of like pay them money, done, right? But like now I really have to like think smart. I have to be very intelligent about my actions. So since we're kind of illiquid starting this out, and it's so important that we hit these things by the end of our timeline, I'm like getting creative. So I find our dude and I'm like, hey, bro, you build out these funnels. You help me increase my affiliate revenue through building out these funnels. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be bringing you onto my show. I'm going to be, having conversations with you. I'm going to be checking in with you, but we're going to do these check-ins on the live stream. This is all part of building $1 million business. So next week, Julius on Monday, he's coming onto my live streams. You know, he's going to be like, hey, man, here's an update on your funnels. And we're going to be fully transparent. I'm going to be like, hey, guys, look, I don't have money to pay Julius right now. Like, we have a little bit of money in the bank accounts since we generated that bit. But I'm going to be like, hey, guys, look, you know, we're very liquid. You know, Julius is doing it this way. I'm talking about Julius doing it for the purpose of you guys reaching out to him if you need a website. So we're getting these creative collaborations in place. Then we have strengthened social credibility. So a lot of you guys know that I'm very, very well integrated into astro flipping. I freaking love astro flipping. It's my family. And I want to help them as much as possible. So, you know, we're doing more collaborations with astro flipping and other well-known brands. And then create specific value-driven promotions. So for example, I dropped a list of buyers in the comment section. Now, when people sign up for certain products and services, that list can be very handy. Like I have, you know, do you mind if I like drop names on here? Or should
No,
I?
go ahead.
Okay. So like, for example, I have a friend named Andy Wrong. He built this system called Dispo Genius. I've been using it in my business. It's been a game changer. And I have a value-driven promotion where if you sign up for Dispo Genius with my affiliate link, you will get that buyer's list. If you don't, sorry, I have no way of knowing, you don't get it. So that's an example of value-driven affiliates. So it's affiliate plus Nathan, which incentivizes people to come to Nathan instead. For example, with Go High Level, you know, my main CRM, my acquisition side. You can go to Go High Level and you can get Go High Level, cool, but you're gonna have to build it from scratch. I've spent so much time, resources, money building out this system. But if you come to me, I'll give you my exact template. I'll save you so much time. I'll give you something that's proven that actually works, right? So those are examples of value-driven promotions.
I'll be glad to give you a shout out right now because I
Thank
use
you.
some of your automations.
Yay.
And I will also say that when I started with Go High Level, I started with a blank slate. And it took
Nice.
me a good year just to understand what the whole function of the CRM is, right? Not just put names in and as a giant Rolodex, if you will, but you know, how do you start doing text and email campaigns? So if you're new to the whole system, don't understand it, having somebody like Nathan who will share all his automations will save you a year or more in time. It's just fantastic that you just open that up and say, hey, if you buy Go High Level, here's are my automations. So
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, guys, if you want it, you can go to dealswithnate.com/CRM, dealswithnate, NATE.com/CRM. I'll give you my template. I'll give you my intellectual property. I won't charge you for my intellectual property. There's a lot of people that, you know, what they'll do is they'll white label Go High Level. So they'll slap their logo on it. They'll charge you a monthly fee. They'll also charge you a really, really high onboarding fee. And I was watching that and I was like feeling bad for them. I'm like, oh, this poor guy. You know, he paid $1,000. He paid $1,500. And not only did he pay that upfront fee, but he also now has a white labeled version where when he reaches out to customer support, he has to wait 3 to 5 business days. Like, come on. I want you to get Go High Level from the source. So when you go to that website, dealswithnate.com/CRM, what you're getting is you're getting my template. Okay. So you still get Go High Level from the source, but you get my template uploaded into your account. So your account will look just like my account minus all of my leads. So yeah, I felt like that was another example of just, you have to be a go-giver in this game, especially if you want to develop influence and audience. I've learned you have to just do way better than everybody else, give way more than everybody else, and just remember that there's infinite abundance in the world.
amen.
Amen is right. So we got one final leadership rock here, and that's my underwriting department. Acquisitions team, fantastic. If there's not enough underwriters to process the deals, it's going to go to crud. It's going to be not that well run. So my underwriting department, their goal is to have underwriting optimized to where we can fulfill the guarantee of 1 business day underwriting. So we offer free underwriting for anybody that's in Florida. It really helps newbies get going. And we would like to be able to have a guarantee that says, hey, if you send us something for underwriting, we pinky promise you that we will get you a buy price within 1 business day. And if we don't, we will buy you coffee. pretty good guarantee, right? If you're a newbie and you're like, I could send it to Nathan, I could send it to John, I could send it to Leah, but Nathan guarantees one business day feedback, or he'll buy me coffee. I'm gonna send it to Nathan. Um, I think that's how we're going to get an advantage on the market. So that's going to be rolled out before the end of Q1. A lot goes into that, from having to hire another underwriter. So my underwriter has been creating new SOPs to bring on a new underwriter. We've been putting up the job applications, interviewing, and yeah, that's easier said than done. So that's an example of how I've built out a leadership team. But you know, and maybe I'm rambling here, so if you want to just interject at any time, interject. You know what I learned out of all my hiring so far, Shane?
What's that?
Hiring for skill is not always the best. It's best to hire for values. So here, I'm actually going to share my screen one more time, and I'm going to show you something. I created this thing called a culture doc. Okay. Have you ever heard of a culture doc?
Not specifically, no. We've done different culture style quizzes and exams, kind of to find what's one's personality, but not an actual document. No.
It's a bit of a unique thing. So I'm not surprised. Maybe I just made up that. But so pretty much what this culture document is this is something that every single person has to read before they'll be interviewed. And essentially this pretty much says, if you are not exactly who we're looking for, you will be found out and you will not last. Just to be very blunt about it, in a very loving way, of course. So we start by talking about our vision, right? So our ultimate vision is to build houses on Mars and contribute to making humans a multiplanetary species. To achieve this, we are building the systems, wealth, and community necessary to pioneer on Mars. Freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome.
Exactly. Like the only people that will get on board with somebody with such craziness of an idea are crazy people. So great. That's what we're looking for. Anybody with like really low level goals, or like, you know, people that are like, I just want to show up and get a paycheck and do the absolute bare minimum, they're going to see that. They're going to be like, what the heck? I'm out. I'm not going for this interview. So then we go over our 10-year goal. We reiterate our mission. We reiterate how our work impacts other people, because that's a really big thing. A lot of people want to have purpose in their work, right? If you don't have purpose in your work, you're not going to last long. So we talk about how our work helps wholesalers achieve financial freedom, how we support investors in fix and flip projects, how we help redevelop residential neighborhoods through providing these projects for investors, how we create spaces where people feel empowered, included in something. That's the community aspect of things. And yeah, then we go over our core values. So this is the part that, you know, people will see it, and the crappy hires will just fall out. They'll be like, oh no, there's nowhere to hide. So positive mental attitude, extreme ownership, authenticity, go-giver mentality, continuous growth, going above and beyond. Let me ask you this, Shane. Let's say, maybe I don't want to be mean. So I'm going to use myself as an example. When I was a teenager, I worked at Canadian Tire. Okay. I hated that job. I was like, this is dumb. They don't pay me enough. You know, they jip me on my hours. If I clock out 2 minutes early, they minus 15 minutes. I would show up and I would try to do the bare minimum, right? I would try to do just enough to not get fired, right? Now, those kind of people, if I was applying for a job and somebody sent me this and they said, you have to read this before you interview because this is our company culture, I'd be like, oh shit, they're going to find me out. They're going to find me out. I better look for another job. So that's why we created this. Then we talk about our non-negotiables, like laziness. You know, we will not tolerate laziness. We will not tolerate a lack of accountability, dishonesty, negativity. We talk about how every single day people have to be making daily improvements, have a positive go-giver attitude, celebrate both your wins, you know, and that includes your failures. You know, you try something and you make a mistake, celebrate it. I consider that to be a win. That's innovation. We talk about
that's innovation. That's right. That's putting that, you know, not everything is a home run, but hey, if we can do our best at it and learn from it and be better next time, we've done our job.
absolutely. Yo, we could try like 10 new things and fail at 9 of them, but that one thing might put us ahead of everybody. and I'm willing to invest in that. We talk about team dynamics. This is a big one. Accountability. We clearly stay here that we are data driven KPIs. So, like, somebody comes into the company, they're not hitting their KPIs. They already know. We already set the expectation up front. You don't hit your KPIs. I'm sorry, but this is not the place for you. We're going to invest our resources in people that take it seriously. We talk about conflict resolution, extreme transparency. We state as well that innovation is their duty. Another example of me when I was working at Canadian Tire, I would see this and I'd be like, oh no. So we tell them that if they are not constantly innovating, they will literally be replaced. I'm sorry, I love you as a person, but like, you have to be innovating, because if you're not growing, you're dying. So just like the self-checkout machines, there's a lot of people that are like against the self-checkout machines and being like, no, humans should have it. It's better, personal interaction, yada, yada. Insert 1,000 excuses here. Self-checkout machines are better for business. Everybody's using them nowadays. The people that complained are probably gone, right? If, like, for example, AI came out, the people that claim that AI, is just a fad, humans are better, more creative, sorry, you're gone, or you're about to be gone. So yeah, pretty much just making it.
I love this, Nathan, because as you're going into hiring somebody, right, that is that business relationship. It is a relationship. And by setting the expectations very clear up front, there is no, oh, I didn't know that's how it was going to be. We laid it all out in advance. Here's who we are. Here's what we expect from you. Here's how we're going to work as a team. Let's go.
Absolutely. And the people that aren't cut out for it are going to let themselves out the door before they even get in, because it's costly, dude. It's so costly to hire somebody that doesn't work out. A lot, like, not just wages, but opportunity cost as well. Well, look at that. It zoomed in.
Uh,
It's dramatic. Let me zoom back out.
so I do know that as you're bringing on people and you're trying to train new people to be lead generators and acquisition specialists, that takes time to get people good. And I also know that you bring 10 people on, by the end of the first month, you might have three of those people left. At the end of 2 months, you might have one. And you do get a lot of turnover. You have a lot of people who start off with, hey, this is the greatest thing ever. How are you working through that attrition? How are you planning for it? I know you do a lot of that live and share it with everybody. So maybe that's part of how you root some of that out is they see it in advance. They know what they're getting into.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm taking it from an approach of like, I really want to have the least amount of turnover as possible. So I'm going to be way more diligent on the front end than end up hiring somebody, wasting time training for them only to, not put in the effort for them to end up getting fired. Uh, I think it's actually, as a matter of fact, it is very respectful to the other person to not hire them if they're not cut out for the job. Why? Because if I can tell upfront in the interview that they're not going to take it seriously, that they're not going to hit their KPIs, that they're going to have a negative attitude, that they're going to have whatever problem that doesn't work with the company, I'm just wasting their time if I take them on. I'm not only wasting my money, my resources, my time, but I'm wasting their time because they're most likely not going to be successful. So it's better for me to just pick the proper person in the beginning. But also, it's cancerous to your company. It's cancerous to your culture to have somebody with a negative attitude. Because just like positive attitudes and a positive peer group, that stuff spreads, bro. Negative attitudes in a negative peer group, that stuff spreads. You hang out with criminals, ooh, it's only a matter of time before you commit a crime. You hang out with positive people that are making a lot of money, damn, bro, you're next. You're making a lot of
Yeah.
money next.
And I love that because, like I said, if you get in the right groups in the right circles, let's talk about doing deals. Deals will come.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're working with new acquisition people, you spent years building out your network of realtors and lead gen. Are you concerned a little bit about um, reputation erosion?
Ooh, good question. Reputation erosion. So, are you?
Meaning that we got new people that might be calling people that you've dealt with for years. who are used to hearing from Nathan. Well, now they're going to
Mhm.
hear from this bozo. Shane gets on the phone and stumbles through the script. Well, it's not Nathan. Who's Nathan? What happened to Nathan? Where'd he go? I'm going to call Sophie instead because she's always picking up the phone when I call her. And
Mhm.
then you kind of lose that reputation.
Yeah, totally good question. I've actually been isolating my leads from everyone else. So there's so many realtors, there's so many leads. Like it's like abundance, 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 abundance. So they've been all getting new leads or leads that, I might not have gotten off on the best foot with because I make mistakes too. I will give those leads to them. I'll be like, you know what? I didn't really do good on my intro on this one. They don't really like me. They don't really care for me. Here, Josh, you call them, pretend like you don't know me. Um, so I don't really have to worry about them damaging reputation with pre-existing leads. However, I do have to be conscientious of overall business reputation.
Yeah.
And that's where we kind of come back to the culture document of like the non-negotiables. So one of those was like dishonesty. That's an absolute non-negotiable. If I catch them operating with a lack of integrity, dishonesty, or messing around like that, then done. But they're probably not going to get in the first place.
Now, as I look at your goal, $1 million by the end of the year, and this is not $1 million gross, we're talking $1 million net. You have a
Net.
bookkeeper on
Yeah,
staff who's going to report, keep track. If you hit your goal, you're offering $100,000 to a charity.
absolutely.
So that's
Yes.
freaking awesome. I love that, bro.
Yeah.
And
You want
if
to
you
know
don't hit
why?
it, what happens?
I shave my head and I polish it to a mirror-like finish. So I'll look like Shane if I don't hit it.
That's right. Look at that.
Yeah. But dude, the whole donating $100,000 to charity, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, we make $1 million net. Like $100,000 is like not much compared to out of a million. Like that's only 10%. Um, and specifically, I want to donate it to homeless people. But I don't want to just donate it, just for it to be pissed away. What I wanted to go towards is I wanted to go towards helping homeless people be in the same position that my viewers are in, right? Because my viewers, they're in a position in which their survival needs are met. They don't have to worry about freezing to death on the street. They don't have to worry about where their next meal is. They're not addicted to drugs. And, some people have a negative aspect of that, but like, man, like that's a mental health problem. Like they need help. So my goal is, when we accomplish this goal to on the live stream as well. Yeah, please. I love tea. Thank you so much. Um, my goal is when we're on the live stream to donate this and to have a conversation with the charity and have them clearly tell us exactly how this is going to help homeless people rehabilitate themselves into a position in which they can then succeed and live their best life. I have an idea in mind. Here's my idea. Okay. I think I see Nicholas in the comment section. You should create a charity to teach financial literacy to prevent future homelessness. I'm very involved with charities. I'm on the board of a charity. I'm very involved with other ones. Here's my goal. So, because I know everybody, not everybody, because I know a lot of people in the industry, there's programs that will provide basic housing needs. Cool. Done. Okay. Their survival needs are met. As long as they pinky promise not to do a bunch of drugs, their survival needs are met. Okay. Next one. There's programs that will provide subsidies for their employment, right? So what does that mean? That means if somebody is to employ them, there are programs that are willing to subsidize up to 75% of their employment to reduce the risk. So what do we need? All we need is we need somebody to mentor them. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we create a company with that $100,000. We create like maybe a 1, 2, 5-person company, and it's a bunch of mentors. And that $100,000 will go towards paying their salary to mentor these homeless people that have been recently housed. They will get a wage subsidy so that it reduces the risk. So now these people are making an income, they're incentivized to show up, get their mentorship, and get their life back together. Because the big thing that separates people that are homeless, people that are just above homelessness, and stuck in a job or stuck in a life that they don't like, is empowerment. They simply are disempowered, right? Homeless people, they're disempowered. They've had it rough, right? They're so beat down that they're like, man, I don't even know if it's worth trying. And if we can just have that one person to touch their soul and inspire them into that empowerment, that will change lives. That will change generations. I've been there. I've been that kid. I was homeless. I was in a homeless shelter. I was struggling, and I was empowered. I was helped out. I had my survival needs met, and they gave me a platform to really launch from. So I want to give that back to as many other people.
Fantastic. And I don't want to keep you too much longer, and I'd love, because we could ramble on for another hour if we wanted to. I would like to take a time, if you have a few minutes, to kind of open up the chat and let people ask questions where they're at in their wholesaling or lead generation or whatever questions they want for Nathan.
Absolutely, let's do it. What's up, guys? How you doing? Let's hear your questions. I like it when people come off mute. Are they able to come up on stage? Does that work?
If we do that, I bet you we can. Let's find the
Okay.
view.
I love seeing faces and I love like talking because we can communicate so much more and get so much in depth.
If somebody has a question, raise your hand. I'll pull you up on stage if you'd like.
Well, can I answer? I'm driving right now, so I guess if you want to see my face, I can, but rather
That's
not.
okay. I don't want
Okay.
you to. I don't want you to crash. Be safe.
Thank you. So I have kind of two questions. The first one's kind of easy, and the second one just kind of get your perspective. First one is just that I know I've seen what you've done in the past last year, but are you going to be doing like an IG like before? Or are you going to be doing a YouTube or both?
So IG is not the easiest platform to stream to. Like it's
Uh-huh.
doable, but they cut you off like on a really short time frame. And then it doesn't really archive it that well, and it's just weird watching a landscape video, forced portrait. So the primary streaming destinations are YouTube and my Facebook personal profile and my Facebook page.
Okay. Now, are you
Yeah,
going to have a set schedule, or are you going to just kind of just come on when you come on? Because that's kind of what I
yeah.
noticed last year, but it was just me. I just kind of saw it when I saw it.
So I wish I could do an exact time every single day, but it's a lot to hit the exact time frame every single day. Things come up.
Yeah.
Pretty much I start in the morning, right? So like lately I've been doing like 8:30 a.m. To 9 a.m. like kicking it off, doing like 3 hours. I think I did like 4 hours today. I don't know. Some days I'll even do 8 hours. Um, but yeah, pretty much I'll start in the morning on Eastern Standard Time and then I'll go all the way into the afternoon. But they're also archived. So, you can always come back at any time and you can watch them. But if you wanted to ask me questions live, come on the live, hit me with those questions and I can ramble on them.
Okay. And then when do you find it? So I'm not sure if you dealt with this before, but so I got a W-2. But I guess my question to you is, when do you find it, I guess, most productive? Is it in the mornings for you? Because that's kind of generally when I have time. So that's when I try to hit. Evenings I find it a little bit harder because I'm West Coast time.
Absolutely the mornings. I get a lot done before people even wake up. And if you're looking to really up the productivity and the ROI that you get on your efforts, I would say start with your mindset stuff, right? Sometimes I'll skip my mindset and I'll be very unproductive. And it's like me trying to chisel through a concrete wall with a flathead screwdriver, But when I do my mindset stuff in the morning, it's like me chiseling through a concrete wall with a jackhammer.
Okay. Awesome, man. Thank you.
My pleasure, bro.
Yeah, and I do know that different people have, that energy level at different times of the day. I'm a morning person. My brain's on fire when I get up and, I get my first cup of coffee. That works for me, and just hammer out details of my day, right? And that's my most creative time. It's not necessarily the best time for me to reach out to people because I am on the East Coast and I've been in trouble before because I'll start texting and sending messages. And I got a call one night from somebody who says, it's 4 a.m. here. Why are you texting me? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. You're in California. Sorry about that.
That's so funny, Shane. Dude, I do the same thing, bro. And I just like, somebody got salty and I was just like, you know what, bro? You don't have to reply to it. Like you can wait till 7 a.m. I'm awake early, but you can wait until 7 a.m. Don't feel like you're obligated to replying to it.
Do we have any other questions for Nathan? Richard, are you there? I know you are actively involved. And I saw you come on first, so you're just not showing your face today.
What's up, Richard? I don't know if you're here, but I'd like to meet you. You sound cool.
Oh, Nathan, you know we met, man.
Yo, it's that dude. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Still working these 12-hour shifts, man. So I was kind of laying down a little bit, but I'll show my face, and I don't know if I have any specific questions. I've been in it since 2019. I actually tried to do what you were doing as far as marketing, but I never could get the concept of starting a team. And it may have been the mindset because I know we've talked about that. And I'm actually reading 10 Times is Better Than 2X right now.
That's a fantastic
Um,
book. I watched the
it,
podcast like 3 times.
yeah, really, really good book. But for me, I'm trying to get it started back, and I have buyers, but my biggest thing is, like I said, income, because I do have a huge family, and I'm working every day, so I'm pretty much that 12 hour, and I just want to try to get to the virtual aspect because I do have buyers in other states. So, do you have any insight on where to move in that aspect?
Okay, so let me make sure I understand your situation. So you're a very busy dude. You got a big family.
Very
You
busy.
got you got survival needs to meet, right? You got to generate income. You got to feed your kids. You got to feed your wife. Um, then you have buyers, and now it's a matter of generating deals, right?
Yeah. So, like, literally, I have lists, but they need to be put into a system. They need to be placed to where everything can probably be automated because I usually write things down first so I can remember it. But I'm like, why do I need to remember a buyer's name? Maybe just
Mm.
put it in the system and it can do it for myself. Um,
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Do you have a CRM?
I do not,
Okay.
and that's
Do you know what RAM is like in a computer?
yes,
Okay, so like you know how like RAM is like very similar to short-term memory. Like you only have like so many slots, and once they're all full, like you just max out. So you have mental RAM, right? So you only have so many slots. Let's say you have 16 slots in your mental RAM. Dude, you're gonna be slipping, you're gonna be dropping things, you're gonna be missing opportunities, not just the archiving information aspect of things, but also, you know, let's say you're doing MLS offers, bro. You make 30 offers this week. Are you going to follow up on those offers next week manually? Because if you follow up on those offers next week manually, you're not only following up on 30 offers, but now you have to also make another 30 offers. Okay, week two. Week two, now you have to, sorry, week three, now you have to follow up on 60 offers and you also have to make an additional 30 offers. Week four, you then have to follow up on 90 offers, plus you have to make an additional 30 offers. And what ends up happening is you end up maxing out. So for you in your situation, bro, I would highly, 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 highly recommend getting a CRM in place because you can store all this information. You can categorize it so that you know exactly what each buyer is looking for, each market. Um, you can automate your follow-up sequences. So, do you do MLS? Do you do direct to seller? What do you do?
try to do direct to seller most of the time. I've tried um, MLS. I kind of got to the point. Realtors are really getting on my nerves, because they would think their um, education level was beneath what I was trying to do, and I'm like, we're the same people. I sell homes that are distressed. You sell homes that are fixed up. So can we get on the same page? I'm looking at your distressed home that you're trying to sell, and I'm letting you know by my requirements from my buyer, this is what he would purchase at. Now, because you have an obligation to the seller and what they want, we just have to work together and make a number work. So
So
I went back to off market because I can deal with the seller myself and kind of give that knowledgeable information that I have.
I would say though, bro, whatever you do, see it through to completion because every single time you switch, you start over from the beginning, right? So you might have been 40% of the way through MLS offers, agent outreach, but then you switch to direct to seller. Now you're starting from zero for direct to seller, right? If you switch back afterwards, where are you starting off? You probably don't really have much momentum if you leave it be for that long. So whatever you pick, stick with it. But regarding the agents, because I do just agent outreach and JVs, dude, I like okay. I want to be nice to agents. I freaking love agents. I make a lot of money with agents, but like I kind of like treat them like kindergartners if they aren't as intelligent as they should be. Like you might have a kindergartner that says to you, "Hey, I hate you," right? I hate you. I never want to see you. But next week, that kindergartner will give you a hug. Okay, so you want to treat them very respectfully. You want to be very nice with them. Also, keep in mind that it's the agent's job to make a shitty house look a lot better than it really is. That's their job. So I look at it this way, right? No matter how much you polish a turd is still a turd. You can put sprinkles on it, you can put whipped cream and a cherry on it, you can put some chocolate sauce on it. That thing is still a turd, right? So if that house is crap, no matter how much they hype it up and pretend like it's better than it really is, can convince you that you're wrong and that they're right and that they know what they're doing because they're a realtor. Guys, most realtors are unsuccessful. Hedge your bets. Um, just know that that's their job. That's what they've been trained to do. That's their fiduciary duty. So it's not you, bro. It's not that they suck. It's just that's just their job. It just is.
Yeah, I think for me, I just need to work on finding a niche because, like I said, I'm so good at so many things. I hadn't figured, well, I hadn't got to the aspect of finding myself. So that's why I'm liking the 10x is better than 2x because it's teaching you to take that 20% more than that 80% and let the 80% let somebody else do. So that's what I'm working on currently.
Do you enjoy direct to seller?
I love real estate in general. I think it's my current job. It's not saying that I hate it because um, I'm a healthcare worker, so I love helping people, but I just don't like the environment.
Okay. So you like helping people. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
like helping
Yeah.
people, but to help people, if I got to do it for 12 hours, that's taking your life away pretty much because you work 12 hours. You got to try to sleep 8 at least, and by the time you sleep that 8, you're gonna have to get up between the day with kids and whatever, and so and then you're tired going in the next day. So
Yeah, you blink
that's
and you're 60.
yeah,
Bro, I think you're on the right track. I think you're actively finding what's, most enjoyable to you. And I think that's the most important part. Do what you love, do what you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, why the heck are you doing it? Right. Next thing, you're reading the book 10x is better than 2x. I haven't personally read the book, but I listened to the podcast like 3 times. So I have like the summary of it and the idea in mind. And I think that's really good for you, bro, because, it sounds like you want to make a very condensed impact. You want to, get straight to helping people. It sounds like you're not a big fan of like, filtering through all the junk in order to find somebody to help. It sounds like you just want to have somebody to help ready to go. Am I wrong? Am I
uh,
misunderstanding that?
no, I think that sounds because I'm more of a direct person, and I have ADHD, so I can hardly sit down. Like even the book, I have the book, but I have to have the audio because
Let me
I
guess, you
can't.
have 3 other books started as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I have a million books that I just grab from the store every time because I'm like, oh, I like this subject, but I just don't want to read it.
And again, that comes back to finding a niche and sticking to it, right? I am a lot like you, Richard. I have a hard time focusing on one thing and being consistent at it because my brain is always turning and I'm like, ooh, multifamily over here. And oh, let's do a business
Shiny
acquisition.
object syndrome.
See, Cindy keeps me on track.
I have to yell at Shane. Do you want me to yell at you too, Richard? Because I can.
Hey, I'll take it.
An accountability partner is gold. Having the right person that says, hey, every week we're going to do this. We're going to do these KPIs. We're going to call these people. This is our method. And holding you accountable at the end of the week will help you keep on track, Richard.
You know, I like that you mentioned that, bro, because we host a daily accountability call Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You show up, you have to go through the 3 questions. What did you plan to get done today? And what did you get done? That's a 2-part question. what do you need in your business, and what would you rate your level of effort? And you can only mess around for so long before you're going to get back on track. Because if you have 2-3 bad days in a row, as part of like my community, it's your duty as one of the brothers, the sisters, to call that person out and to help them, right? Because we're very results focused. So we're going at it as a team. Not only that, but like if I make a mistake, I'm going to show up to that call and say, hey guys, I messed up, I did this, I shouldn't have, don't do that. And everybody's going to be like, okay, noted, won't do that. So now they don't have to worry about making that mistake. If I have a success, I'm going to show up and say, hey guys, I tried this, it worked great, do this. Everybody else is going to do that, and vice versa. So it's not just me, it's everybody that shows up, shares the wins, shares the mistakes, and we all get to our destination so much faster because we're taking it as a team. So Richard and Shane, if you don't mind, I'd love to invite Richard to the daily accountability calls. I have a link.
I was gonna say I'm connected to your Discord.
Hey,
It's
dude, why are
just
you not
sometimes
showing up, bro?
man, it's hard to get. By the time you're in there, I'm asleep because I work night shift.
Yeah, night shifts are hard, bro. Well,
But I was thinking about making my niche disposition because, like I said, I have all the buyers. It's just I'm gonna have to get that CRM to kind of really organize it and just push out buyers for the deals that I see, and then I'll underwrite them until I find somebody else to underwrite them.
totally, bro. Send me a direct message on Discord, and I'll personally like hop on a call and like, pardon me, I'll make sure that you're set up for success.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure, bro. I appreciate you too. I want to see you prospering.
So again, if there's another question, we'll take it now. Otherwise, we're approaching that hour mark. We're actually past the hour mark. But
that's okay. I bill by the minute. I'm just kidding.
But Richard always brings up a great point, and we've seen this a lot. Is we have those people that are working at W-2, right? 8 hours, 10 hour, 12 hour shifts, and then trying to figure this out too. And it's a rough life. It is hard because your heart, is in this thing you want to build, man. But it's just like the life is just eating you up and chewing you out.
It's a trap.
Yeah,
it's
man,
totally
it's
a trap.
Trapped.
So Shane, that's why I had to use you and Cindy for the self-directed. Just put some money where y'all can make it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I'll just touch on a little bit while we still have a few people left here. I don't see other questions, but I don't see hands. One of the things that Nate, we talked about is how do we, Cindy and Shane, help you and your community? Because we like to raise capital. We like to fund deals. We like to provide things like EMD for closing on deals. We like to buy property, especially stuff you in Tampa would be nice. How can we, as our community, help you and your community?
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I love this. Definitely my community has a need for EMD lending. The next thing is private money. Like as people in my community start to elevate themselves, they find themselves in a position where like, yo, I want to take down a flip. How do I get money for it? Boom. Shane, I'm in that position right now. I'm lining up my private money lenders. I'm lining up hard money lenders because if I don't take down properties and use accelerated appreciation, I'm going to lose most of that $1 million to taxes.
Yeah, because as you are building wholesale business, that cash that's coming in is all taxable income. You need to offset that with some real estate.
Absolutely. But not only that, I think you can help the people in my community because I'll be honest, we're a lot of young men. We're not that responsible with our money. I'm not that responsible with my money. I'm learning how to be more responsible. Bro, take our money and invest it. like before we spend it on dumb stuff.
Absolutely. And it's like Richard said, we helped him. He doesn't have the time always to go out and find the deal and underwrite the deal, acquire the deal, and operate, right? That's where people get really stuck is, the tennis called, my toilet's leaking, the door doesn't work, and you're on a W-2 job. That's really tough. Partner with Cindy and I, we'll help you get there. We'll put your money to work while you're working, and grow your wealth so you get in some bigger deals.
I love that. I love that. That's a very useful thing. Thank you.
Definitely, I will definitely reach out to you about becoming a PML, and let's talk about EMD funding.
Yeah, well, I don't really have anything else to say.
So when's your next big milestone? When should we check back in with you and hold you accountable?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think a month or 2 months from now. You know, it'll be like probably a couple of days after the month is finished, and we're going to be doing the profit and loss live stream, just because my bookkeeper needs a couple of days to finish up. So February, the first week of February, I believe, we're gonna have our first live stream with the bookkeeper of like how much did we bring in, how much did we spend. Of course, we're building a momentum, so the first month is not going to be as lucrative, but we're going to continue to compound with effort. So I think it's really going to get juicy around the third, the fourth, fifth month kind of time frame, because like that's where it's like will Nathan be actually getting traction, or will he fumble the bag? We'll see. So I think we should plan for like maybe third month or something. And also I'm gonna be bringing on some really cool guests onto my live stream. So as a matter of fact, Shane, you want to come on my live stream and talk private money?
Absolutely.
Okay, bet. So we'll coordinate off of this about you coming on one of the Mondays on the design and delegate day. So Mondays are for me like having my consultation meetings, designing, delegating, and I would love to talk private money and make sure we have that lined up for when we're ready to take down those flips. We're also going to be bringing on better guests. I've already got a verbal commitment from Jamil Damji. I'm just saving that credit for the climax. So yeah, we're gonna have cool people coming.
Jamil's an awesome guy.
He is. I freaking love the dude.
Well, Nathan, as always, it's a pleasure. We feel honored that, other side of the world, you're calling us, same time zone at least, or close to it. So it's good to see you.
Thank you, bro.
Stay awesome. Keep crushing it and keep giving back. We do love that.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Looking forward to the next time we connect and having you on my live stream. Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Adios, guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.